Coming up on Citrus TV News, only 3 days until voter registration closes. How can you still make it to the ballot? Citrus TV reporter David Edelstein has the answer.
And an under-the-radar vote in the Senate makes it harder to sue big banks. It's called the biggest win for Wall Street under Trump. What does this mean for consumers?
And Amazon has a new product that makes delivery even easier. Citrus TV News starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Our top story tonight, college tuition prices are on the rise. Good evening, I'm Elijah Shama.
And I'm Colleen Callander. A new College Board study shows that around the country, the cost of an education just keeps going up, and Syracuse is no different. Joining us now from the SU Quad is Citrus TV reporter Zach Lang. Zach?
Thanks, guys. The College Annual Board report came out today, and they said that college tuition is rising faster than inflation. On average at public universities, it's rising on average by $300 per semester. At private universities like Syracuse, it's rising on average by $800 per year. Now, I talked with some of the students here out on the quad, and they said it might be hard to find financial aid to cover the rising costs.
Well, as an international student, it affects me directly because my parents don't, I'm not eligible for financial aid as I'm not an American citizen, so it affects me because I have to pay extra on top of what I'm already paying. I'm sure like other people that I know, they also rely heavily on financial aid, so I think like it's definitely not a good thing.
The costs of Syracuse's tuition is actually already above the national average for private universities. Syracuse in the past 2 years has risen by $2,000, and that doesn't even include room and board. Reporting from the quad, Zach Lang, Citrus TV News. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Zach. CBS Evening News has a new anchor, and it's a Syracuse alum. SU's own Jeff Glor will take over the anchor spot from Anthony Mason later in the year. Glor graduated in 1997 with a degree in broadcast journalism. He was previously a CBS News correspondent. SU is trying to make sure that the mumps outbreak will not spread any further. The university is giving free MMR shots, that's measles, mumps, and rubella, to any student or staff that will want them. The shots will be given out tomorrow and Friday at Flanagan Gym. Officials also say to make sure you received your most recent MMR shot.
Over 2,000 people could lose out on money from the sale of the Syracuse Chiefs. In the last 2 years, the Chiefs turned over half their stockholders' shares to the state because the stockholders stopped contacting the Chiefs. The shares have since dropped from $1,400 to $19. Now shareholders are asking the state for that money back. The state has yet to say whether or not people will be getting their shares back. The SA is giving students the chance to spend winter break in Puerto Rico. Students will visit the island for a week to aid in the island's recovery efforts. The trip is being planned by the SA as well as with Hendricks Chapel and the Southern Baptist Disaster Relief. The first information session is next Tuesday at 7 p.m.
College campuses tend to be politically active places, and Election Day is just around the corner. Citrus TV reporter David Edelstein is live in studio with information some students weren't told.
The 2017 general election is now less than 2 weeks away, and while many students are saying voting is important, some actually won't be allowed to.
Important to have an input into who is running your country and who is running in your state and your district as well.
So I feel like if we all collectively voted, we would have a really big say in what goes on in our government.
I just think it's important that each vote is represented and that everyone has a say in what's going on.
It's crucial now more than ever that students are not only active in their communities but are participating in the politics.
But while students generally say they want to vote, many say they have not registered yet. The problem? The deadline to register to vote in the general election was last Wednesday. This just one reason young voters are not going to the polls. Thompson says millennials are the largest voting bloc, making up 40% of all eligible voters, but he says less than half of them actually do.
As a result, politicians are not paying attention to our wants, our desires, and we're not able to have the true impact that we can.
Some students are saying that what led to this is that they just didn't know what to do.
I think if they actually sent out an email like just saying the information that you just told me, I think that would be really helpful just because I had no idea, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people have no idea as well.
If you have already registered to vote but will not be in the area on Election Day, you can still apply for an absentee ballot. Mailed applications are due next Tuesday, while in-person applications can be filed all the way up to and on November 6th.
Thanks, David. Syracuse is playing host to a wide variety of people this week as hundreds flock to the Welcoming Economies event that promotes immigrant and refugee businesses and foods. Citrus TV reporter James Groh headed downtown Syracuse to find out more.
This week, Syracuse is welcoming economies from all over the world. It's a part of an event called Welcoming Economies. Policymakers and city planners from across the country are meeting with immigrants and refugees from Syracuse. The reason for the event?
To welcome and integrate immigrants and refugees as a way of both revitalizing neighborhoods, but also creating access for Syracuse into the high-growth economy.
According to New York State, in 2014, 22% of the population were immigrants. But the event starts with a food extravaganza, with people from 5 different countries, including Pakistan, Afghanistan, Syria, South Sudan, and Ethiopia. The goal was to get people to interact with others and understand a little bit more about where your neighbor is coming from.
It's like, oh, you're from a really different place. I wonder how you do things, you know? You're really foreign to me. We're all kind of foreign to each other.
While the event is to inspire community leadership and foster business development, the ultimate goal was just to understand and appreciate the diverse neighborhoods we live in.
I just want people to walk away and be like, oh, that's so cool. I just met somebody and talked to them about their lives and never thought I would. That's just cool, you know, like I just meet some cool strangers and feel good about people.
And at the multi-day event, there's going to be over 350 people coming to Syracuse. Tonight is just a taste of what's to come. James Groh, Citrus TV News.
So the day started out pretty cold, but it's warmed up a bit.
Yeah, the sun is shining and there's just a bit of a breeze. Nicole Weaving is outside to give us an update on the weather. Nicole?
Thanks, guys. It truly felt like fall today with some clouds in the sky. It's currently about 58 degrees outside, and with some light wind, it feels slightly chillier. Now, expect those temperatures to continue going down tonight. The low tonight is 42 degrees, and with only about a 20% chance of rain, you shouldn't need any rain boots or an umbrella, but a jacket would be suggested. Now, with Halloween weekend coming up, I'll let you know if any rain could possibly ruin your plans in my full weather forecast.
After the break, a deadly shooting at a Louisiana college. Police continue to investigate the shooting that left 2 dead.
And a no-show Supreme Court hears Kenya's election troubles. We have Gilat Melamed in studio to explain the crisis.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
What are you, superheroes?
Just 4 brothers who hate bullies and love this city.
Gear up, guys.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
You're watching Citrus TV News with Colleen Callander, Elijah Shama, and Nicole Weaving with weather. Citrus TV News continues now.
Big news out of the Trump-Russia probe. The Washington Post is reporting that Trump's political opponents, including Hillary Clinton and the DNC, paid for some of the research that was used in December's dossier.
The dossier makes a number of connections between the Trump campaign and Russia, only some of which have been confirmed. The White House is saying that this discredits all information from the dossier. Sarah Sanders called this, quote, the real Russia scandal.
But critics have pointed out that it was Republicans who initially paid for that information.
Some unexpected news in the Senate. They voted last night to repeal a rule that allows Americans to sue banks and credit card companies.
The vote was a close one, with Mike Pence breaking a tie to repeal the law. The vote is the first big one in Wall Street since President Trump took office, and it comes as a huge win for Republicans.
Democrats passed the rule in July to give more power to the average consumer.
2 men were shot dead early this morning at Grambling State University.
Authorities say there was an altercation that started in a dorm and spilled into a nearby courtyard. One of the victims was a student, while the other was a visitor for the Louisiana school's homecoming weekend.
Police are still searching for the attacker. This is the second shooting at Grambling State in the last 5 weeks.
The EPA's next review of chemicals in your home or office may not include some of the most harmful toxins.
The Trump administration says they will not review certain chemicals, including asbestos, flame retardants, and other common toxins. The administration will only review products that are still being manufactured and entering the marketplace.
Lawmakers say this is the first step toward enacting new regulations to protect the public, while critics say it does exactly the opposite.
Former President George H.W. Bush has been accused of groping and sexually harassing an actress.
Heather Lind, who is the star of Turn, accused the 41st president of an Instagram post telling her a dirty joke and grabbing her behind while posing for a picture.
This is yet another story of assault since the allegations against Harvey Weinstein.
The company picked to rebuild Puerto Rico's electrical grid is raising controversy because of its ties to the Trump administration.
The $300 million contract was given to a small firm from the hometown of Trump's Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke. The company in question is only 2 years old and only had 2 employees at the time the hurricane hit. It is also where Zinke's son had his summer job.
Officials are planning to investigate the contract.
The election crisis continues in Kenya as their repeat election will happen tomorrow. We've had a lot of coverage of this contested election and we wanted to help clear it up. So here to give us a quick explainer is CitrusTV political analyst Gilat Melamed.
The Kenyan Supreme Court could not vote on whether to delay tomorrow's election because the court didn't have enough members present to legally make a decision. Tomorrow's repeat election comes after the original presidential election in August was declared invalid due to, quote, illegalities and irregularities. Don't expect everyone to show up at tomorrow's polls, though. The former candidate and current opposition leader Raila Odinga is telling his supporters to stay home tomorrow. He believes the Election Commission issues are still not resolved and a fair election is not yet possible. President Uhuru Kenyatta is hoping tomorrow's revote will bring an end to the political unrest that has plagued his country the past 3 months. The state of Kenya's democracy has implications far beyond the country's borders, as it's an East African economic hub, home to multiple UN agencies, and an example of a young African democracy in the works. Guys, back to you.
China revealed a new leadership team today, but one person wasn't there, an heir to President Xi Jinping. The lack of a successor to the current president symbolizes Jinping's grip on the leadership in the country for the next 5 years.
While a potential new president wasn't appointed, there were 5 new appointments for different positions on the country's most powerful body, the Politburo Standing Committee.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
We're under a week away from Halloween next Tuesday, so I thought that I would give you guys a quick look at what the weather should look like that day. So generally for most of the country, it's going to be pretty dry, but if we take a look over here in upstate New York, where we're located, some rain or even possible snow may be moving in on Tuesday night. So despite the temperature being in a warmer 57, expect some precipitation, may need an umbrella then. When it comes to some temperatures right now in upstate New York, it's currently 60 in Rome, 57 in Cortland, a warmer 61 in Binghamton, and 56 in Penn Yan. Now, when it comes to waking up tomorrow morning, temperatures aren't going to be very different from what we saw today. When you wake up, it'll be about 45 degrees and warm up to about 52 by noon and be about around 50 by 6 p.m. There's going to be some more wind tomorrow, so it'll probably feel slightly chillier than what the temperature reads. There's also only a 20% chance of rain, so just like today, some cloudy skies, but definitely no rain coming in tomorrow. When it comes to your 5-day forecast, it'll be mostly cloudy tomorrow with a high of 54, and then the temperatures are going to warm up for this Halloween weekend. It'll be a high of 61 on Friday and an even warmer temperature of high of 70 on Saturday. But then some rain, as I mentioned, is going to be moving in Sunday and Monday and may even linger around until Tuesday.
Thanks, Nicole. So with Halloween coming up, what do you think? What are you thinking for that? Do you think the rain's going to ruin my plans?
I think that you should be okay. The rain should hold off until Sunday, but you might need a light jacket for at night because those temperature lows are going to be in the low 40s.
Thank you.
All right, and coming up, a rock and roll legend died today at the age of 89.
And a new app that will bring Amazon into your house, literally. Stay tuned.
Dream that I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly, just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Got a quarter?
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
The Commerce Department says that the sale of new homes has risen nearly 19%. Economists expected a rise in new home buying after sales fell last month. The rate of new homes purchased last month hit the highest level of units since October 2007. The 19% gain is the largest since January of 1992. A Harvard Business School study finds companies are demanding more from new hires than ever before. The study found employers are increasingly demanding that applicants have better qualifications than the person already doing the same job.
However, demanding more from potential employees costs companies more in salaries. The nation has more than 6 million job openings, which is a record high.
Amazon wants to reach even farther than your door. The online retail giant is introducing Amazon Key, an app that will allow Amazon deliveries to be left inside your home instead of on your front steps.
The Key is included in a bundle available to Amazon Prime members, starting at almost $250. The Amazon Key and Home Kit includes a smart lock that works with the app, the Amazon Cloud Cam that lets you monitor everything from afar, and the Amazon Key that allows you to manage it all.
The app will initially be available in select U.S. cities.
Lose Yourself is winning Eminem a big sum of money, and not from who you'd think. The rapper was awarded $400,000 today from New Zealand's National Party for copyright infringement. The party used the song in an election advertisement and titled it Eminem-esque. Courts ruled the song was too similar to the rapper's track. Rock and roll icon Fats Domino has been pronounced dead at 89. Domino is credited as one of the nation's earliest rock and roll artists and was the second highest selling artist of the 50s behind Elvis Presley.
He helped put New Orleans on the map of the music industry and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1986. Medical examiners say he passed away yesterday of natural causes.
And coming up in sports, the SU football team so close, but still some work to do before making the postseason. Plus, a former Q star inks a new deal in the NFL. All that and more on the other side.
Your daughter just had her first breakup.
Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Come on, it's not that hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
Here's your check.
Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. Nope.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Well, the Syracuse football team, 4-4 on the season, some big wins mixed with some disappointing losses, has created a buzz surrounding this team. The Orange hasn't made a bowl game since 2013, and a year ago was in the same position as right now, 4-4 with one win getting them back to the postseason. Head coach Zeno Baber says that mindset is exactly what crippled his team in the final 4 games last year.
I thought one of the things that we did wrong last year is that we kept talking about bowl games before we talked about just winning the next game. And when you go back and you look at the 2016 season based off of our GTA and our APR ratings, which is so high, we were basically one win away from going to a bowl game. If we'd have won one more game based off of what happened, we'd have went to a bowl game. And to be one game short from the 2016 team and talking about going to bowls the entire year, this year I just don't want to do that. So we're going to stay locked in and just trying to win the next game. And if it works out, it works out. I just don't want to start looking ahead like that.
No stranger to the postseason, former Syracuse defensive end Dwight Freeney, who now finds himself as a member of the Seattle Seahawks. The 37-year-old is back in the NFL after being a free agent since March. He played for the NFC champion Atlanta Falcons last season and reportedly thought about retirement, but has since changed his mind. The Seahawks announced last night that Freeney and the team agreed to a one-year deal. The 15-year NFL veteran will play his first game with Seattle this Sunday versus the Texans. Well, it's been a mumpy couple of weeks on the Syracuse campus. As of early this week, north of 25 cases of the mumps have been confirmed at SU, and the university is advising all students to take action in preventing its spread, including the athletes. Orange point guard Frank Howard knows how important it is to remain careful in this situation, saying, quote, supposedly to enter into school you need it, so everyone had it. But with this going around, I got my booster shot. When they said there was a mumps outbreak, I stayed in my house for about a week. I washed my hands every time I went somewhere. I grabbed the doorknob with my sleeve. I'm just trying to stay healthy. And you know, when you're a senior in college, you're supposed to lead by example, especially when you're tasked with leading the defending national basketball champion. For Joel Berry, that just wasn't the case. The senior point guard broke his right hand last week when he punched a door following a loss in a video game to his teammate Theo Pinson and a team manager. Berry will be out for about 4 weeks. And in Major League Baseball, the Dodgers took Game 1 of the World Series last night, beating the Astros 3-1. Looking ahead to Game 2 tonight, Los Angeles has another lefty starting the game. Rich Hill gets the ball for the MLB's hottest team. The Astros were going with Justin Verlander on the mound. The ALCS MVP is 9-0 ever since joining the Astros at the trade deadline. The Dodgers, however, have won 9 of 10 games this postseason and have a perfect record at home. First pitch, Game 2, 8:09 in L.A. And after a tough loss, 125-121 in Orlando last night, the Nets look to bounce back with a win tonight at home. Brooklyn plays the Cavaliers, who are coming off a comeback win against the Bulls yesterday. The game will be the test for the Nets, who are 2-2 so far this season and are without point guard D'Angelo Russell. Russell is out as a result of a right knee sprain. Confirmed out for this game as well, Dwayne Wade for the Cavaliers due to a right knee contusion. Tip-off at Barclays Center is at 7:30. I'll be watching that game. I'm a big Nets fan. Disappointed with the result last night, guys.
Thanks, Noah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And going back to the game tonight, the World Series game, what can we expect to see, and what do you expect to see in the rest of the series?
Yeah, well, the team that usually takes game one wins the World Series at an alarmingly high rate, about 64% all time. And I really expect the Dodgers to kind of roll through the rest of it. They're so hot right now. Their pitching staff is great, and their lineup, their bats, they're all alive right now. So expect them to take game two and take the rest of the series.
And I guess coming back to Syracuse basketball, Jim Boeheim says this is going to be a good team. What are your feelings? Are you bullish?
Yeah, this morning he said this team has a lot of potential. But you know what they say about potential? A rock has potential. You know, I don't really believe in this Syracuse team this year. Look out for next year. Next year, they're going to be pretty dangerous. They have a lot of weapons coming in, a lot of guys coming back. I'd be excited for next year. This year, maybe a little spark here and there, but nothing huge.
All right, well, here's to hoping.
Yeah,
Thanks,
absolutely.
Noah.
Thanks for being here.
Coming up, Kid Rock answers all the questions that we have. Don't go anywhere.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
So Nicole, it's finally feeling like fall. Is the weather going to, stick through? Can I continue to wear the cozy sweaters that I took out finally?
Well, tomorrow, definitely, but it's going to continue to warm up this weekend and actually be in the 70s on Saturday. So you may be able to whip out your shorts one more time, but next week, not going to be the same story.
All right, and Nicole, this is Syracuse. When are we going to start seeing some snow?
So there is the first chance of snow next week. There's going to be a dip in the polar vortex, so the temperatures might get low enough to see some snow, but it'll probably be mixed with rain and won't really accumulate.
All right, thanks, Nicole.
Musician Kid Rock confirmed today that he is not running for Senate. After hinting for months that he wanted to challenge Michigan's current senator, he said on Howard Stern's radio show that he never really intended to follow through.
Rock says he kept the idea of a Senate run going as a joke. He is quoted as saying, "F no, I'm not running for Senate," end quote, and that he is working on an album and touring instead. Well, here's to hoping he tours all summer long.
I hope so, because that would be a lot better than him running for Senate, I think.
I can concur with that.
And that's all we have for tonight. For more, check us out online or follow us on Twitter at CitrusTV News. For Citrus TV, I'm Colleen Callander.
And I'm Elijah Shama. Have a great night, Syracuse.